Hey, it's Mark Andrews, and it's time for a long overdue OCFOA Plays of the Week, Episode 3. I have been working really hard on the testing videos. There's like 20 of them. Go over all the testing we did preseason and explain the rules and rules references and all that stuff. If you haven't seen it and you'd like to see it, I will post the playlist links at the end of this. First up, we've got some plays from Mike Pereira. They are college plays, but they definitely discuss fouls that we deal with in the high school level. So I'm going to let Mr. Pereira speak. Here we go.
Pass interference is always going to be talked about all year long, right? We know that it is, and we also know, at least I think it's the toughest call that you have to make. Is this or isn't this? There is a lot of hand fighting on this particular play. Nothing was called, and I'll show it to you one more time. We're going to get a close-up look at it. There's two guys, and you're going to see this a lot. Okay, hands are starting here. Hands, both looking back. No real restrictions. Did he significantly hinder the receiver's ability to make the catch? No. Good pass. They didn't call this. And again, one of the keys is looking back for the ball. Both are looking back for the ball. Both get equal rights, and hands on each other do not create a foul because there was really no restriction either way. So it was a very good job. As I've always said, sometimes it's tougher to pass on pass interference than it is to call it. And that's one of those examples, but it was a good call. Here's another. Now this one, watch this one in pass interference again. Now, to me, this one should have been called. And we always talk about trust your instincts. You can actually see that really the back judge starts to reach and thinks, and this game happens so damn fast. I've always said, trust your instinct, trust your instincts. And you're going to see here, if you trust your instincts, to me, this is a foul because while there was no significant hindrance here he plays into his back, basically knocks him off the ball. And I think this should be pass interference. I know they're tough, but again, he's really not playing the ball. That's not legitimately, in my opinion, looking back for the ball. And, you guys that reach this level, that are working all of these levels that we're working, you're there because you're pretty damn good. And you got pretty damn good because you trusted your instincts. So you want to trust your instincts. The one before was not. This one, we feel, should have been.
All right, we've just heard a really, really good discussion by Mike Pereira regarding DPI. He's talking to college guys who've been doing this a long time. I want to make sure that everybody understands some of the elements or indicators of pass interference. And remember, guys, this just does not apply to defense. It applies to offense as well. As a matter of fact, the restrictions for pass interference for the offense begin at the snap, and that's important. Okay, so let's look at some of the indicators. Cutting off the receiver. So this is where you have a receiver, going down the line usually, and or he's going across the middle, and he simply is cut off by the defender. He can't go the way he wants to go. If the ball's in the air, that is pass interference. If the ball's not in the air, then it could be excessive contact to a defensive player. If he's concentrating on the quarterback, it could be illegal use of hands. Remember the defense cannot contact an offensive player when he is no longer a potential blocker. All right, so let's talk about another one, armbar. This is a tough one to call, but you see it a lot. So now we've got two players running side by side, and the defender realizes he's going to get beat. So he puts his arm out across the stomach or chest of the defender, of the receiver, and basically slows him down. This is a hard one to call, and you'll see the same thing when the defender is looking back at the ball. Typically, this isn't an arm bar. What it is the defender is just reaching. He's feeling where is this guy as I look for the ball, right? And we're not gonna recall that unless it creates a major restriction. Okay, I know it's a fine difference, and it's one of those ones that you just have to see it, and see it a few times. Hold, grab, and restrict. This one's easy, right? So, if the receiver's getting beat, I keep saying that. The defender's getting beat, he grabs some part of the receiver and restricts him from his path. Now, the only thing a lot of times that you have to decide is it holding, defensive holding, or is it DPI? And the difference, of course, is does it occur before the ball is thrown, then it's holding, or does it occur while the ball's in the air, then it's DPI. If it starts before the ball is in the air and continues after the ball's in the air, I say throw the DPI flag. Some guys will still throw holding. To me, it's DPI. It's my own personal opinion. You guys rule it however you want, but don't let it go, obviously. Playing through the back, this is a really tough one, and usually happens on a play over the middle, right? So you've got a defender, God dang it, the receiver that is probably sitting down. He's gotten to an empty spot, and he sits. It doesn't literally sit, but he waits for the quarterback to throw the ball to him, and the defender realizes that this is what's happening, and he's behind the receiver. The receiver's usually facing the quarterback, and he will come and try to reach over the top of the defender of the receiver. God. Of the receiver, and try to knock the ball away. Well, that's fine as long as he doesn't contact him prior to the ball getting there. If he makes contact before the ball arrives and then swats the ball away, that's a flag, and that's a tough one to sell. And you are going to hear howls of protestation from the team that you're calling the DPI against. But it's a good call. Okay, just make sure that he arrived before the ball. When we have bang bang plays, I would, unless my philosophy, bang bang, don't call it. Okay, but if it's bang and then bang, oh, there's my Alexa going off. Alexa off. A little look into my life. All right. Hook and twist. Again, another tough one. So it doesn't look like much, but it's enough. It's an arm, usually around the waist or shoulders, and then the defender twists the opponent. Or it could be the offensive player does it to a defender that's in position to catch the ball. So again, there's a fine line between an arm just around the body. Okay, that's not illegal unless it's material restriction. But if he twists him and turns him, we probably have PI. The cutoff is, well, we already talked about that one. Tripping doesn't happen very often, and you can see I say intentional, not a feet tangle. Remember, when we have tangled feet, it always looks bad. They're always screaming for pass interference. Don't call it. If both players are playing the ball and they tangle their feet and they go to the ground, or one of them goes to the ground, it's just too bad. It just happens. And then a push, that's obvious, right? It just, it generally happens when the guy is really beat. So this last little bit, I want you to understand that pass interference does not include catching or batting the ball before it reaches the receiver. Once the ball is touched by any defensive player or eligible offensive receiver, then all these rules go right out the window. There is no PI, okay, and that goes for passes behind the line of scrimmage. There are no pass interference restrictions on passes behind the line of scrimmage, and you will often see a offensive player get hit legally, hopefully, not a personal foul, but get hit like a blocking type of hit before the ball gets there because he's behind the line of scrimmage. So do not call that. And then the last line is what I've been talking about all along. Some actions that are defined as pass interference may be overlooked if the defender is attempting to catch or bat the ball. So he's looking at the ball rather than focusing on the receiver. All right, I'm going to show you an OPI play right after this. And it's not anything like this, but it is OPI. And what happens is we have a receiver going downfield to block on what probably should have been a screen pass, but it's not a screen pass, it's beyond the line of scrimmage. That guy blocking is guilty of offensive pass interference. So let's take a look at that. Okay, here's the OPI play that was in question, and really no question. We, as flank officials, see this a lot, this type of blocking scheme. And this receiver is the line judge's key, so he should be paying attention to this. Obviously, the receiver's being pressed, or the receiver's pressing the defense. I'm not sure which it is. But remember, pass interference restrictions begin at the snap for A. So if what he's doing right now is pass interference if a ball is thrown in his direction beyond the line of scrimmage. Now, I'm not sure what this offense was trying to do. It seems screwed up from the beginning. If you look at where the receiver is, he's already at the line of scrimmage. So this is going to go beyond the line of scrimmage. As soon as that ball is thrown, we should have a flag for PI. Now, where's my line judge looking? He's ball watching. At least I would hope he's working here. If he's looking somewhere other than here, which is where he should be looking, guys, as your flank official, anticipate this. If you see this ball come out, it's coming towards you in the flat, and just look for blocking in front of it if he's beyond the line of scrimmage. It's that simple. And we missed this, and it shouldn't be missed. That should be there. Should be a flag on the ground, 15 yards for offensive pass interference, and don't forget, it's not a loss of down anymore. Yeah, PI all day. All right, speaking of OPI, let's look at a play that is a lot harder to call and determine whether there is in fact pass interference. This is a pick play, and to get this, you have to see almost everything. And I'm not sure why we didn't get it, because it appears people are looking at it. But let's take a look at the play. I'm just gonna let it run. And those are the two receivers involved with the pick. Let it go. All right, let's bring it back. Now, if we slow it down, let's first talk about the formation. Who's got what? So we've got a balanced formation. Initially, the back judge's key is this receiver. Our line judges got this guy. And of course, our ever overworked or head linesman has both these guys. But, that's just the way it is. Now, as we slowly go through this, I'm going to watch my back judge. He's backing up. I'm not sure why, but okay. Not the biggest sin in the world. But he appears to be looking right at this. Can't say for sure. This is designed to look like, ooh, I just ran into him by accident. But if you watch 4 here, he clearly is looking right at this guy, right? And of course, he's the defender that's responsible for this receiver. So this is on purpose. It's made to look like it's not, but it is. Look at it. And he even puts his shoulder into him. That shoulder alone would constitute PI once this ball is released in this area. Okay? Now, I'm not sure what my head linesman is looking at. It appears that he is, say it with me, ball watching. No. We don't do that. Okay? You can glance, but you can't watch. Okay. And then what's even kind of funnier is now he's looking at the ball in the air. No, guys, come on. We can't do this crap. Our job is to look for fouls. And now the back judge's attention is on whether he makes catch, no catch, or threatens the end line or whatever. But, the damage is done here. This guy has a wide open catch. I'm sorry for the quality of the film. For some reason, some of these things are doubling up. One last time. Keep your eye on the outside receiver. Right there. I mean, that, as soon as that ball was released in that area, there should have been a flag. And nobody is watching this action. And I get it. This happens frequently. And we don't get them most of the time. So, put this in your memory bank, if you flank officials and you back judges. This is not legal activity. He cannot initiate contact with the defensive player if the ball, technically he can't initiate contact with the defensive player anywhere on the field when the ball's in the air. Okay, once the ball's thrown over the line of scrimmage. But, that's not even true. His restrictions start at the snap. So on a pass play that goes beyond the line of scrimmage, that the offensive players cannot make contact with defensive players anywhere on the field. Now, philosophically, we only call those fouls that are in the area of the pass, but that definitely is what happens here. So, they got a free 6 out of this, and that's just no bueno. There's nothing else I can say. All right, let's move on.
Okay, I decided to stop right here. I actually have about 40 minutes of film that I've already created, but I don't like to make these things too long. So episode 4 is going to be coming right up. We're going to start off with 3 more plays from Mike Pereira. We will hopefully discuss some DPI plays, and we got a whole bunch of other stuff. Hey, if you like these videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on my picture in the upper right-hand corner. It'll take you to my YouTube page. You have to do two things. Click on subscribe, and then click on the bell below, and click on notifications. Otherwise, you won't get notified when I release a new video. If you want to watch these videos, these plays of the week, or the testing videos, click on one of the two links on the left-hand side. This is Mark Andrews, signing off.